Hey guys, PeeCarNoo here, bringing you a Need for Speed video. In today's video, we have a Need for Speed 2015 review on the PS4. And this game has been out for a good nearly 2 months now, and I wanted to give my honest opinion on what I think of the game and how it's progressing. So let's start off with the good things. Let's get straight into it. The cars in general are a good selection of different cars within the game. They've done a good job of picking out some of the best cars that are available on the market right now and some of the classics that we've had over the Need for Speed years. So that's always a good thing that they've done. They could have added more cars, I suppose, but the detail on the game is pretty insane. And that does bring it on to the next point. The customization in this game is pretty much bang on. I mean, it does take a few moments to actually get into it. You have to navigate the whole car instead of the old Need for Speed games where there was a menu at the top for like front bumper, back bumper, side skirts, things like that. You've got to physically go around the car and see what items you've unlocked, which can be a bit of a pain, but it's an experience that you got to get used to it, and it does work. And like I said, the customization in terms of the body parts and some of the real life body parts that are available are in this game, and it's great to see. And obviously certain cars are not allowed body kits because of licensing reasons and because they don't want their cars being tarted up as shit as possible. So Need for Speed have added their own customization options in there, but it's good. The customization and the cars in general are very, very good. It's probably the strongest points of the actual game. Now let's move on to another part. The graphics and the detail and how it performs on the next gen consoles. Well, this is specifically for the PS4, but it's an idea anyway. The graphics on this game are extremely good. They're very, very detailed. Some of the spray you can get on the road, the shots, even the crash physics are actually pretty decent for sort of like a big arcade racer. It does, like I said, it does run smoothly pretty much, 95% of the time. There's hardly any frame drop whatsoever, especially on this is reviewing on the PS4 anyway, so it does run smooth. Now, what you've got to bear in mind is there is a lot going on at once. There is pretty much on this game, it's an open world game. You've got people navigating through the menus and the map, and you're doing it at the same time. That's where the multiplayer games are going right now. They're always being online. It's not just a single player anymore. But back to the actual graphics, it's really, really good. Moving on to the next good point of Need for Speed, we have the drifting, the actual movement you can get in this game if you just want to go to the mountain roads and have a bit of fun. And the actual drifting in this game is actually really, really good to do. It's exaggerated as you'd expect in a Need for Speed game, but it's it's fun. At the end of the day, it is fun. You can see some of the gameplay now in the background. It just gets you really excited when you get those perfect angles, and you can customize your car to do certain things that you want it to do, certain angles and opposite lock. So that's always good to see as well. So the general drifting and the fun factor in the game is definitely there. Now I will say, as you start to abuse the system, like going into, there's only so much mountain drifting you can actually do in the game before you start to be like, this is getting a bit tiresome now. But generically, and for most people, it's very, very fun. Moving on to the bad things of Need for Speed 2015, which I found there's no daytime. There's literally no daytime. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. It's not hard to engineer some light into this game. I don't know why they did it purely nighttime, because obviously, people think street racing is just purely done in the night, but it's actually good to see a game, in the daytime, actually have, a better view of cars around you and things like that. So I don't know what they were thinking there. Next bad point. This is possibly one of the most cringiest and worst points of this game. Cutscenes. Story mode and cutscenes in this game are dreadful. Like, it's like they're auditioning for some sort of, Britain's Got Talent, stage play or something. Like, the way they look at you on camera after every single sentence is unbelievable. They think you live in some sort of, I don't know, it's unexplainable. Like, when I first saw the first cutscene, I was like, hang on a minute, you know, this is getting a bit crazy now. But it's so cringy. Some of the lines they say are so, you can predict almost everything they're going to say and how the story's going to pan out. And when they get angry, the facial expressions are just hilarious. So, you know, the story is just absolutely not the best, and the cutscenes are just dreadful, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the acting crew that were hired, but yeah. You know, now this is the next bad point. The game feels lost. Like, you can complete this game if you sweated it out, you know, within like a couple of days, and then that's it. You ain't got much more to do. You can buy all the cars, you can customize all the cars, but at the end of the day, there ain't much more to do in this game. You know, you can race people online, but it's just, it feels a bit lost, it feels empty. And considering they've had quite a lot of time to develop this game for the next generation, you would have thought there'd be a lot more. You would have thought, you know, you'd have a lot more players online, you know, in the same lobby, do things like car meets and things like that, but it just isn't possible with the, you know, infrastructure that they've given us. It makes the game really difficult to connect with other players. Getting into a game, you know, into an online session takes like a minute just to get into the game, and you know, that's not a bad thing, but a minute on these next gen consoles are just, you know, there. So anyway guys, this is my review of the Need for Speed 2015 game. Overall, I do think it's a good game to actually have some fun. It's not a game to grind out on, and that's why I've cut down some of the walkthroughs, which I'll explain in a different video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new to this channel. Cheers.